I had to force myself to make this video. That's it, really. It's because I've been feeling so uninspired recently. Hear me out. This may seem a bit silly coming from someone, me, who's only got 2 videos on their YouTube channel. Like many people, I've had this dream of being a full-time content creator, or at least being paid for my creativity. In my case, that happens to be photography, but in some cases it'll be graphic designers or videographers or painters, or you name it. I've had this dream of living full-time as a photographer, creating my brand, getting paid to make videos about the things that I love. The issue is that I don't like video. I much prefer photography, but videography is kind of, it's become a necessary part of the creative process. But the thing is, you need to want to create. It seems obvious, I know, but I do take a lot of photos. I've taken photos of people, events, sports, fashion shows, street photography, travel photography. I've done a lot of this stuff, architecture, landscapes, events, the whole lot, really. And I've had fun the whole time, and I still do. I really do enjoy the process of photography, taking photos. Also, I apologize for this stance, by the way. My tripod's not tall enough, so this is what you get now. And turning all of that stuff into content is quite difficult, actually. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of inspiration. That's not to say that I don't also do normal paid photography gigs. I do. But I'd rather only take photos of things that I'd personally find interesting or compelling, right? Oftentimes events and other stuff, it's not really my preferred choice of subject, if that makes sense. As it turns out, though, these days just making pretty photos it's not quite enough. Also, I apologize for my phone being here. I'm actually using it as a microphone right now because, as it turns out, my lavalier microphones aren't quite up to scratch. They're a bit too muffled for this content, so I need to upgrade. But in the meantime, my phone's fine. I don't need better microphones. I have 3 subscribers. It's fine. As it turns out, these days just making pretty photos isn't enough. Some would argue that it was never enough. I think there was definitely a brief period, in the early days of Instagram, in the late 2000s, early 2010s, where it was enough. You could just be a photographer and do just that, and that was your thing. Nowadays, that's not the case anymore. Photographers, they have to not only do the photography, but they also have to do video, because people want all-in-one solutions. They want a photographer who's going to turn up to the event, take photos, take videos, and then submit, the deliverables will be, 5 reels, branding images, and also stills, or, whatever you negotiate. But that's just what it's like. And these days, as a photographer, you need reels to be seen online. You're not going to be seen by new people, by new audiences, if you don't make reels. It's just that simple. And I think that's a tragedy, to be honest, because the apps are all about retaining your attention for as long as possible, which I understand that's their business model, but it's kind of shitty for everyone else who's just trying to get their photos seen. It just crushes the art. Basically, that's the bottom line. That's why it's hard to feel creative, because it crushes the creativity, and that's not even talking about AI and other contemporary issues. But that aside, so how do I get inspired? What am I going to do? Well, I think the first step is doing something. They do say that doing something is better than doing nothing, and I guess my something is making this video. It's getting me out and creating and inspiring myself. And not every video that you put out has to be this sort of perfectly cut together masterpiece that brings the viewer ultimate value. I apologize for the planes, by the way. I don't know if you can hear them. And, the video has to be watchable, and it has to bring something to the table, whether it's entertainment value or information or something. Or this one might not, because this is more or less a 3 or 4 minute rant, this entire video. But not every video has to be your best, and this video is my way of contributing to creation rather than just being another consuming cog in the creation machine, so to speak. I saw a post recently, I forget whether it's Facebook or Twitter, that said that every day you have a choice to either be a consumer or a creator. And today I woke up and I thought to myself, you know what? It's probably about time to do some creation. So here I am. It really is difficult, and to be honest, content creation isn't as easy as people make it out to be. I mean, it is easy compared to other jobs. It's easy compared to being a construction worker, and it's easy compared to being, an office worker who has to be in for 12 hours, 5 days a week. 100%. But it's not without its own hurdles. I'm not actually trying to even be a content creator. I just like taking cool photos that make me excited, that I want to show people, and I want to share that with people. I just want to share my passion with people kind of because I'm excited about it, because I find it really fun, and I want to show other people about it, and I would just like to also be able to earn a living from it. Taking photos makes me happy, it pushes my buttons, if you will, and I want to share that. I want to show everyone the cool photos I took. I want to, I want to show people who always say that they look bad on photos, that they don't, and that actually they just haven't been paired with the right photographer yet. And I really do believe that. I believe that there's no such thing as, there are people who are more photogenic by Western beauty standards, but I think that there are also, mostly when people say that, they've just not had the right photographer who could pose them properly. But things like the Instagram algorithm have other ideas, other things to say. Like, you can't grow meaningfully on Instagram without video. That's just the reality of it. You probably will get a few followers with just photos. And it is true that real quality will still attract an audience, but the algorithms on all of these platforms prioritizes video so much that the growth you can get from video is exponentially larger than what you can get from just posting your photos. And that's just how it is, really. It's kind of sucky, but unfortunately that's where we're at right now. And so here I am making a video, which I'll probably end up snipping into pieces and posting across social media because I have to, not because I want to. Honestly, it's a necessity, and that's life, and life's unfair. So there you go. Ergo, I have to do it. Honestly, that's pretty much everything I had to say for this video. It was more of a rant than anything, and I hope it resonates. I think a lot of people think this. A lot of people think that the video aspect of modern creation has kind of taken a lot of the art out of, especially photography, but also graphic design and other various art forms, because everything has become essentially how good of a videographer are you and how well can you present your work. And so, yes, this was very much just a rant, but also an exercise for myself to force myself to get out and create rather than just, like I said, be a cog in the sort of consuming machine rather than the creation machine, if that makes sense. And I think I'll probably try and post think pieces like this a bit more often because A, they're low effort and it's a great way to get myself doing something. And B, I like sharing my thoughts, and I think it's interesting to share your thoughts and see what other people think. That requires an audience, which I don't really have yet, but hopefully I'll get one at some point. But then that requires me being consistent. So it's all push and pull. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed listening to my rant, and I'll see you. Well, if I'm smart about this, next month. If not, then maybe in about half a year. See ya.